Yeah, so I just want to summarise the project and talk about what we're doing here. And it's really three elements. So we've got a really clever turbine going in underneath our feet. We've got a 17 kilowatt turbine that will generate the energy for all of for the mills. We've got a water wheel going in, which is really the iconic thing. It's so important that we put the water wheel in because it represents what this site was really about, water power. But the good thing is it will generate some power. So it will produce about 2 to 3 kilowatts of energy from our water wheel. So as well as looking good, it will generate some income from the site. The third part of it, which I think is the real high-tech stuff, and it's great for this site that we're doing something different, is the water source heating. So we're also taking energy out of the water with the water source heat exchangers, and that's going to produce about 35 kilowatts of heat by using a heat pump that are being granted to us by Vaillant, who are a community company up the road. So it's a fantastic project. And the other really key thing is that all the work's been done by local people. So one of my tenants is a construction company and their guys are here working. Some of them walk to work. So it's just, you couldn't be more local and sustainable. So some of the things that I would advise or recommend if anybody else is thinking of doing an energy project similar to this, there's quite a few things, but it's important to do a feasibility study, because whilst there's a real will and want to do things, you really obviously need to know whether or not it's actually possible to do it. So we did a feasibility study which really looked at the water flow here and whether or not there was enough water to generate enough energy to make it worthwhile, and it obviously was concluded it could do that. So that's the first thing. The second thing then is understanding how much management goes into a project like this, and useful if you've got people on board with construction project management, because it's quite complicated, quite complex, fairly technical. So the more you understand about how construction works, important, you know, you're going to be easier for the project itself. So it may mean you have to get specialists in to help you with that. Then of course on a site like this we've got heritage. So we're a grade 1 UNESCO World Heritage site, and we need to comply with all the rules and regulations and the listed buildings consent, and everything that we've done underground, digging out here, has had to be had a watching brief, archaeological watching brief, to make sure that anything we come across as archaeologically sensitive, it's been monitored, recorded for posterity. So that actually was something we hadn't really anticipated, how much it would take, how much it would cost. And our costs have gone up quite a lot since we started as well. So it's worth understanding that sometimes the project cost you think it's going to be is going to be way over what it is, because it's really hard to estimate the things that you come across that you just couldn't foresee at the start. Things on this particular project would be the size of the excavation, the time it would take, the watching brief, the technicality of taking stone apart carefully, recording it, putting it all back together again, understanding how the whole thing fits together. Lots of considerations.